Okay, we're live. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I'm Crypto Penguin. Welcome everybody in the Trading Congress and the Nest Club members. Today, the topic is fundamental analysis. Okay, I'm gonna share with you um, some of the, let's say, the insights, the way of thinking, the things that I looked at, okay, that helped me pick some strong projects. This is the reason, this is how I got into Solana at around like 11, $12 back in the end of February around. Um, this is how I uh, this is how I got into. My voice is echoing. All right. Anybody else has problems with my voice? Let me know. Yeah. So this is how I spot, that 10x, 15x, 20x, and just recently I got into this other NFT project. Using the same fundamental analysis techniques, right? So it's not just going to be for altcoins. I also use it to get into NFTs, and that's from 2.5. So I think that I'm like at 7, 8x, maybe 10x now. So I'm going to share with you all those principles that I use. Okay. First, let me play a short message from our partners, and then we're going to get started with that.
PrimeXPT is the most powerful trading platform offering immediate access to over 30 assets. Trade cryptocurrencies, forex, commodities, stock indices, and much more, all from a single Bitcoin settled account. Visit the link below and start trading on PrimeXPT in minutes.
YFDAI is democratizing finance by creating the most secure, transparent, and user-friendly ecosystem of DeFi products. To learn more, visit thebirbnest.com/YFDAI. Bistro is a decentralized peer-to-peer food marketplace that makes ordering food more convenient and rewarding for both providers and customers. Learn more at thebirbnest.com/bistro. Equinix is a NASDAQ-listed digital assets company offering crypto exchange, custody, asset management, borrowing and lending services, and more. Enhance your crypto wealth today at thebirbnest.com/Equinix. The Change DeFi app allows you to become your own digital bank with automated financial services that give you complete control over your wealth while enjoying 100% freedom and security. Sign up today at thebirbnest.com/change. Polkadex is a cutting-edge, order book-based decentralized exchange for the DeFi ecosystem built on Substrate. Learn more at thebirbnest.com/Polkadex. Join over 10 million users trading on Crypto.com, the world's fastest and most secure crypto trading platform. Earn up to $50 of CRO with the code CryptoBirb when staking at thebirbnest.com/CryptoCom. Lease Capital is the first launchpad on Arbitrum. Get access to early investments in the most promising projects at thebirbnest.com/leasecapital. Eureka helps creators protect, manage, and monetize their work with the power of blockchain. Secure your rights and your revenue at thebirbnest.com/Eureka. Okay, guys, let's get started. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll get to them when I see them. All right. So, first of all, you've heard of analysis. So the difference, okay, between technical analysis and fundamental analysis. Technical analysis, you want to look at the price, the charts, what people are doing. Basically, people have to buy and sell, and it shows up on the chart. So you can have some indicators that analyze that price, but basically that's it. Just the history of what people have bought and sold. You analyze that, and from that you kind of have an educated guess at what you think price might do in the future based on what people are actually doing with the asset you're buying and selling, and that's helpful, especially if there's a long price history. You don't even have to look at the fundamentals at all. But in some cases, you would actually do better, have a better, be able to predict better if you use fundamental analysis. In what cases? Let's say it's a new coin, no price action whatsoever. It's an IDO, hasn't even been listed yet. How are you going to do TA on that? Well, you cannot, right? So you have to use fundamental analysis. What about if you want to forecast what price is going to do in 10, 20 years from now? Maybe it doesn't really show up on the price chart yet. You can't really forecast that yet. But maybe based on, you analyze what the team's doing, what the project is doing, maybe you can kind of get a sense of whether it's going to be around in 10, 20 years. So the FA, fundamental analysis, is all this other information that helps you decide whether other people are going to be interested in buying and selling. Okay? All right, so when I talk about fundamental analysis, it doesn't always have to be what the fair value of the coin is going to be. Okay, sometimes it's just what you think other people are going to value the coin at. Doesn't mean that you think the coin is going to be really good. Okay, so like maybe I got into a bit of the Dogecoin pump at one point. I didn't really like at the point that I jumped in. It looks like just a meme coin. It is kind of a meme coin right now, but it's a okay. I'll talk about that later. So I didn't get into that based on whether I thought it was like a good project. It's going to be here in 20 years. But I saw that, okay, it was at a point in the market where people were jumping into coins just because of the meme potential, because of Elon Musk and that kind of thing. So I hopped into that. And sometimes you don't have the price. Maybe it's not an altcoin that you want to invest in, right? Maybe it's just a project, a DeFi project. Let's say you want to farm it. Maybe it's you want to pick what stable coin to use. Maybe you want to decide whether or not to buy an NFT, right? These are all situations where being skilled in fundamental analysis will help you make the best decision and not get into start farming in a project that rugs the next day. It helps. It's not a guarantee, but it helps. Not get into a stable coin that loses its peg in a month or two. So these are the kind of things you're going to be able to use fundamental analysis for. Now, when I do fundamental analysis, okay, this is a misconception sometimes people have with FA, with fundamental analysis, is they think that, if a project has good fundamentals, yeah, it's going to go to the moon for sure. It's a 1000x project. Go all in, sell your house, sell your wife, sell your kids, mortgage everything, and go all in on the coin. When I say I think a coin has good fundamentals, I think it's worth investing in. What I mean is it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk. Okay. So basically, when I see a new coin, I see, okay, this is the bunch of coins. If I buy this bag of coins, how much value do I think this is going to be in the future? The future being whenever I decide I want to sell. If I decide that I want to trade just short term, then I'm going to read the fundamentals and look for factors that are going to determine its short term price. If I want to get like a long term hold, I want to get 50, 100x, 1000x, then it's going to be super long term. I'm going to look at maybe some different factors, some different fundamentals, and determine based on the potential of the project whether or not it's worth me risking. Let's say if I want to risk $1,000, is it worth me risking my money into here? If I look at the fundamentals and I think, hey, this project is like it's going to be like a 500 it's going to be like a $500 token, and right now it's at like $2,000, then I won't risk my money. So the objective is not to find a project with no risk. The more good things I see about the project, the more I'm going to reduce the risk rating in my head. Okay, I have like this kind of risk reward kind of scale, like balancing, just like you see in the picture here. If I think the reward is worth the risk, if I think it's going to be like a high potential reward coin, then I might risk a little more. If I think it's going to be like low reward, then I might risk a little less. And also, I have to look at whether it's a scam or not. And then I adjust how much money I'm going to put into the coin. Okay, so you have to be flexible when you do your FA. Just because you think a project is really good, never go all in. Never, right? You always have to practice risk management. But you, on the other hand, you also cannot ever find a project with no risk. If there is no risk in the project, if you're like 100% sure it's going to not go to zero, then either it's already too late. There's no more risk involved. Like it's already like no, it's not too late for Bitcoin, but it's already like it's already like a top 1 coin, top 5 coin maybe. It's kind of late, so there's less reward there already. Or you're fooling yourself. So if you find a project and you think there's no risk at all, you can't find any risk, well, get a little more creative. I'm sure there's going to be some risk. Or go back and read the website again and check out, if they're overhyping things, because there has to be some risk. All right. The CEO of the project dies in a car crash. There's a risk right there. That could always happen, right? You can get creative with this. All right. Okay. So where do you look? You're going to find good risk reward projects. You find a project. Where do you look? Well, you look at the regular places, right? The places that they want you to look. The official channels, the official community. These are the places that the project wants you to look. They have prepared this for you to look at. So read them. But while you're reading them, keep in mind that you're not doing deep digging here. This is what they want you to believe, right? So don't take it at face value. If they say this is the project that's going to, revolutionize the banking industry, then you read it and you say, okay, they think they're going to do that, or they're going to tell people they're going to do that. But don't just believe, okay, they say it's going to happen, it's going to happen. No, that's how you get scammed. Okay, read it, but then also read between the lines. They say, we're going to transform the banking industry. Look at the way they say it. Look at the website, right? How is it presented? Is it a professional-looking website? Does it look like something like a 5-year-old did? Does it look like a really old GeoCities website? What kind of language are they using? Are they using a lot of moon language? Like, this is going to go 5,000x, buy. Or are they saying, is it super highly technical? Look at more, okay, than just what they are telling you. Look at how they're telling it as well. On the Telegram, right, Discord, Reddit, look at how they talk to their community. Look at how active the community is. And then other sources that you might want to look at, that's not maybe something that they regularly tell people to look at. These I put a little more value on. Okay, because so like maybe LinkedIn profiles. Okay, people prepare the LinkedIn profiles, but maybe they're not that ready. They don't spruce it up that much. Some people. The GitHub. This is the code of the project. They can't hide it. Well, they can hide it, but if it's public, then they don't hide that. So at least it's proof of what's been done, if there's a GitHub or not. And then you can look at some third-party sources to see what other people are saying. Okay, so you have all these sources of information, right? So you read everything, you gather as much information as you can. How do you determine, what to believe, what not to believe? Or, I have a simple way of categorizing this information, okay? I call it promises and proof. Okay, so this is how you do your research, right? I do the promises and proof. It's kind of like this scale here, similar to the reward and risk. Promises and proof. The promises, the better the promises are, the better this reward side is going to be. And the proof is what I put on this side, and that's going to help me determine whether or not the how risky the project is, right? And then whether or not I want to put a lot of money in there or not. Okay. Promises. So the promises of the project on the website, on the white paper, on their Twitter, they're going to say, we promise to transform DeFi. We're going to be the next, biggest play to earn game. We're going to overtake Bitcoin, whatever their promises. Look at that. Does that excite you? More importantly, that promise, do you think it's going to excite other people? There's no point if it only excites you and nobody else in the world is going to be excited about it. No one else wants to buy it. Yeah, I don't care about that. So actually, even if I'm not excited about a project, if I look at it and I see, okay, I think everybody else is going to want this, I'll buy it. Because I want to make money, right? I'm not there to like entertain myself, make myself feel good, right? I can feel bad and still make money. With regards to like what I think the project is doing, like I can feel like really bored about it. I think it's gonna make money. Okay, I'll invest in it. So how do you know if it's interesting to other people? Well, is it a product or a service that other people need? Is it something that's in demand, or you think will be in demand in the future? Is there going to be a way for them to earn money from that? Okay, so if they say, we're going to do a crypto project, a blockchain project, to, I don't know, track paper towels. Just that. It only does that. Every coin is backed by a paper towel or something, No, I don't want to buy that. No one's going to be interested in that, right? If they say that, okay, our project is going to become the next Ethereum, our project is going to I don't know, be used by all the gaming studios. How much money would they be able to earn? What kind of clients are they going to be able to get if they manage to fulfill that promise? Okay, and if once they fulfill their promise, they could get like $1,000, or you know what? Okay, someone says their slide's blurry, so let me make it full screen. Maybe that's going to help a little bit. Okay, so if they reach their full potential, slide's still not clear, guys. Okay, let me change my settings a bit then. I'm going to share that. Okay, is that a little better? Okay, some people are saying the slide's clear now, so I'm gonna move on. All right. So how much money are they going to be able to make if they've managed to fulfill their promise? So once you determine, okay, it's a good product, it's a good service, if they manage to fulfill the promise, then maybe they're gonna get Google, Amazon as customers, maybe Walmart's gonna be the customer. Okay, good. That sounds like good potential. Then you want to look at the roadmap. You want to look at the roadmap and see, okay, yeah, you've got a good idea, but how often am I going to be able to expect updates from you? How long is your roadmap? Is it like a 50-year roadmap, and it's going to take you 50 years to finish your promise, to fulfill your promise? Well, by that time, I'm probably not going to be trading in the same. It's going to be a totally different market at that point. So you don't want a super long roadmap. You want a realistic roadmap, okay? And you want, if possible, you want some frequent milestones, at least something every month or at least every quarter, if possible, to get people excited about the project. Otherwise, what's going to happen is there's no news. Let's say that they have a roadmap with nothing from now until 5 years from now. There's going to be no news in between then. the token's going to dump because there's going to be nothing new happening. People are always looking for the next new thing. So you want a project that's able to communicate to people, whether what they're building, and have something pushed to production soon or frequently, so people can have proof of progress. Okay, so by milestones, I mean, like, okay, you have mainnet, maybe they have some clients they're going to announce, maybe they have some new partners, something that's going to give them revenue. Okay, insignificant. I saw some NFT projects that are saying, okay, our milestone is we're going to have a website. Actually, that you should have it already. That shouldn't be a milestone on your roadmap, right? Well, the roadmap is I don't know. We're going to have a giveaway if we get this many people. Okay, that's nice, but that's not something that's important to the project. That's not something significant. You can do that at any time at all, and it doesn't require much effort from you. Okay, so something that requires development work, something that you think gets people excited, those are the kind of milestones you want on the roadmap. Okay. And then somebody's asking me, how do I verify if the roadmap? Okay, I'm going to go to the proof section later on. Over here, we're looking at promises. We're looking at the hype potential. We're looking at how much money this could make, or how far this could go. Okay. Next, you want to look at the token itself. So this is not like a regular company. Blockchain, I mean, right? We're looking at blockchain projects right now with crypto trading. For those, they have tokens, and tokens are not stocks. They don't have to represent ownership of the project or of the company. So you look at their white paper, right? This is very important. You see, what does the token mean? If you buy this token, what's the use of it? Are they going to allow you to trade this token for a part of the treasury? Maybe. Are you going to get some revenue sharing? Are they going to buy it back and burn it? Or is it just a token? And I don't know, like, it's a token that you can go to exchange at McDonald's for a burger, for example. Then what's the value of the token there? It's worth a burger. So the utility of the token has to somehow be tied into, if the project could make $1 billion, when it makes $1 billion, is that value going to somehow transfer back to the token? Right? Are people going to be required to use that token in order to access their service, for example? Do they have to use it to pay for gas or something like that? Right? If there's no use for the token in the ecosystem, it's just a token there for you to buy so they can earn money, for them to sell to you, then don't buy it. Okay. But sometimes this is not always there, and sometimes projects launch later on with some utility down the road. They add some utility down the road, and it becomes good. But well, that's what you have to look at. Okay, and this is just gives you an idea of how much risk or how little risk you're taking. Then you look at the tokenomics. The tokenomics, in a nutshell, if they have 100% of if let's say they launched 100 tokens, 100% of the tokens, who is holding how many tokens, and how much can they dump on you at any point in time? How much cheaper did they get it than you did? Those are the tokenomics. So that means, do they have seed investors? How much cheaper did those seed investors get the token at? Did they get it at 10 cents and it's at $1 right now? Okay, if they got it for much cheaper, that's not too good. Much cheaper than you're getting it right now, that's not too good for you. So the next thing you want to look at is the lockup, the vesting schedule. That's usually what they have. How long do they have before they can start selling some of their tokens? If they got them at 10 cents, it's $1 right now, but the token will be unlocked in 5 years from now, then that's probably okay. That gives you time to give the time for the project to develop value, for the market to develop, for some support to develop there, then that's okay. But if they have, if they have the tokens at 10 cents and it unlocks in a week from now, that might be a problem. So the second factor that determines whether or not it's a problem is how many tokens do they have. So out of 100 tokens, if those guys got it at 10 cents, it's $1 right now, they have one token, 1%. Not too bad, I guess. That's not too bad, right? But if they have half of all the tokens and they got it at 10 cents and you're buying it now for $1 and they're unlocking those tokens, 50% of the supply, they're going to be able to sell it next week. Don't don't do it because they're going to dump on you. All right. It's going to be a chance for them to lock in their 10x their investment. Why wouldn't they do that? All right. So look at the token as well when you're looking at the promises. Okay. Now we get to the next part. This is the important part. So most people, when they look at fundamental analysis, they just look at the promises and they say, "Oh yeah, the project, if they're doing their job, is going to communicate this to you. This is what they're going to communicate to you very clearly. Is yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to be able to make so much money because we're going to be partnering with this guy. These guys are going to be our customers or whatever, right? So this is the stuff that you should be able to find easily on the website, on the white paper, in the marketing communication, in the YouTube videos, in the YouTube interviews. They're going to be shoving this stuff, throwing this stuff at you. Okay, so your job, yeah, take it all in, read it. And then after that, this is a crucial step. Now you start to look for proof. Look for proof that they can deliver on all their promises. They promise you they can deliver the next Ethereum. Well, you better be a damn good coder. You better have some coding experience. No, you can't be like I have some Microsoft Word skills and I can do PowerPoint, but I'm going to make the next Ethereum, right? If I if that's all the experience I have, then at least I better have some really, really good coders on my team, right? So based on the promises that they're making, you look at their team and you decide whether or not you think they can deliver on that promise. So it doesn't always have to be programmers. If it's not a programming intensive project, if it's, say, a project that has to do with the movie industry, let's say, okay, and it's maybe a very simple concept. Maybe they don't need a super experienced tech lead, but they need someone maybe who has a lot of connections in the movie industry. So you look in the team and you see, okay, who's worked in the movie industry before, who has connections to studios, let's say. So that's the kind of thing you want to look at. You want to look at a project that's going to revolutionize finance, revolutionize banking. Well, you see if they have some banking experience, and that's you'll probably also want someone who has good security programming experience there as well, because that's the nature of finances, right? You want good code. People don't want to lose money. Okay. You look at what they have delivered in the past. So if it's a project that's someone launched a meme coin, let's say, and now they're going to develop the next Ethereum. Well, you look at the proof. Okay, what have you delivered to me in the past? What have you proved to me that you can do in the past? So if they say, okay, I'm going to launch the next Ethereum, here's some proof. I made a Dogecoin clone on Phantom Chain before. Okay, that doesn't seem like it's too complicated. That doesn't seem like the kind of expertise required to code a new smart contract platform. Then I wouldn't really trust that experience. Doesn't mean I won't trust the guy, but that experience, well, is not relevant to me. It's a little bit relevant. You have some blockchain experience, but I'm going to want a little more proof that you can do what you say you can. All right. So where are you going to look? Well, to see what experience they have. Well, you can look on LinkedIn, and someone here is asking, other than LinkedIn, how do you investigate? That's a good question. If they're not on LinkedIn, maybe they're anonymous. You can look at their GitHub You go to their project, you look at their username. Maybe you click on the username, you see what other past projects they've done. Look at their GitHub. You can, if they're anonymous, you look at their Twitter and see maybe what other projects they say that they've done in the past. Sometimes people are anonymous. You can't see their LinkedIn, but they've done some solid good projects, right? If you like, I haven't looked at Andre's LinkedIn, but YFI is done pretty well. So that's proof enough for me if he launches another project, right? Then we look at, okay, besides the team, actually what I haven't put in here that I should have is you also look at how much money, how much funding they have, and whether or not that's enough for them to reach their goal. Okay, if you look at the plans, you look at the promises here. Oops, sorry about that. Here, okay. You look at the plans here, and it looks like a 5-year project. It looks like they're going to need a lot of developers, a lot of maybe game designers, and then their funding, maybe in their IDO, they raised like $50,000. Then that's not very convincing to me. I think, you don't have enough money to pay people. So I'm going to lower my, I'm going to take a little like stone off the proof side of this scale here. Okay, it doesn't mean I don't trust them. I'm not going to invest in them, but that makes it less interesting to me. That's all. On the other hand, if they have, if they got like a $2 billion IDO, or if they have some really big name investors with a lot of money, they raised $500 million in some private rounds. Okay, that shows me that you have the money that's going to help you get to your goal, right? Like, the Cardano ICO, lots of money there. So maybe they're a little slower to release than some projects, but they have a lot of money. So, I mean, at the very least, I think they're not going to have to fold because they ran out of funds. Not in the near future, anyway. Okay, then we look at some quote-unquote social proof. Now, by social here, I mean, yeah, do they have some other some experienced investors who have bought into the project? Okay, so for example, a while back, that's Pumpamentals. Yeah, so they just have like, I don't know, like big venture capital firms invested in them, and you assume that these guys have done their research. Assume, not 100%. You assume that these big investors have done their research, so you get a little more credibility there. So if you look at all this proof and stuff, and you say, this guy looks bad, looks very bad, but then you see some big name investor invested in here, like, hey, Bill Gates invested in this project, for example, and what? Bill Gates invested in this project? That's true. Maybe I missed something. Then I'm gonna go back and look at the proof again and see, okay, did I not look at the right guys? There's somebody I didn't see. You look at if they have a product released, that's good. You look at the reviews from the users of the product. So it doesn't have to be you and me kind of user. It can be, if it's a smart contract platform, they've released it already. You go to some developers. Try to look at some like Discord communities, right? And you see what they are saying about the product, about the smart contract platform. Are they saying, it's a nightmare to work with? If you go to the project platform Discord itself, sometimes you might be able to see if people are complaining. If like developers are complaining to them, like, I can't do this. So you can see how responsive people are. Those are some of the kind of things you can look at to help you get an idea of how likely they are to reach their potential here in their promises. So this is the classic fundamental research here that most people think of when they think of fundamental research. Now, there's another slightly more skeptical kind of way of looking at it, but it makes money anyway. So I'm going to tell you about it. Okay, we all here to make money. and some people call this pumpamentals. So how likely is the coin to pump, right? And if the coin has good pumpamentals, regardless of whether or not it has good fundamentals, it can pump anyway. Okay. So first of all, you look at the current trend in the market. Is it like a bull or bear market? If like if you're trying to get into this project, you think it looks hype worthy, but like it was like the middle of the COVID crash, right? Everything's going down like I don't know 70, 80, 90%. Like those that 1 or 2 days, that's not that's not a good time for you to be going into investing in the project. So get a read. First of all, read the room and see whether or not it's a good idea to get into that kind of coin at the time. Then you look at what's hot at the time. There used to be an ICO boom. Then there was an IDO boom. Then there was a Binance Smart Chain boom. So all the coins on Binance Smart Chain started popping up on the right. So even if their fundamentals were kind of weak, team didn't look that great, if they had a half interesting promise and it was on Binance Smart Chain, people were trying to buy it because there's like a lot of money popping off, like happening, floating around in that ecosystem. They're looking for somewhere the next thing to pump. So it's more likely to pump just because of that. Then there was like a DeFi boom. So all the DeFi coins, the project started putting DeFi on their coin just so they could say it is DeFi. And all those coins pumped. More recently, we had all the own forks. It's happening right now. All the own forks and all these other chains kind of popping off. And very recently, play to earn and the metaverse. So VR projects, play to earn gaming projects. This is the hot stuff right now. So if it's something that's hot at the time, you can kind of ease your restrictions for the proof side of things, but bear in mind that this is going to be like short term. Okay, that the hype isn't going to be forever. So eventually, people are going to stop being excited about own forks. I think they're going to be less excited about it right now because there's just too many of them. Play to earn metaverse, it's hyped up right now. I don't think the tech is ready for it yet. The hardware is not ready for it. Like not everybody has a VR device in their house right now. So it's hyped right now. Facebook's announcing it. People are probably Microsoft has announced something. All those big companies are going to announce something. So they're just going to keep getting hyped up, but then the technology is not super ready yet. So it's going to take a little more time. So it's going to die down a little bit. Something else is going to take its place. So that's going to help you determine the pumpamentals. Then you want some name recognition if possible. Name recognition. So if something like I don't know, if you see a coin it says Mark Cuban is invested in this coin, even if you think the fundamentals aren't that great, if you can see some big names in there, that's going to impress other people. And people who don't do this deep of research, they hear the name and they're going to go, "Oh, yeah, I'll buy that. If this guy's invested in it, I'll buy that." That has an effect. All right. So if you see some people just see the FTX wallets investing in something, then they for a period there they just FOMO'd and bought that. Just because of they like the FTX effect. They thought, FTX is hot right now. So they invested in everything FTX. Look at maybe some customers. Do they have some big name customers? They say they have like Apple is their customer for something. Then okay, that's going to help hype up the project for the crowd who doesn't really do their own research. It's easily understood. So these are pumpamentals. Okay, and you can, even if you don't do this part, and some people just do this. They see what's hot, look at something that's halfway decent, and then they just get the short-term 2x, 3x, 4x, whatever, and then that's it for them. You can try it this way too. I like to do this classic way, of course, but I admit that because in the past before, I've neglected the pumpamentals a little bit. I've missed a lot of like really like 1,000x's, 10,000x's because I thought, oh, I don't really like the fundamentals, so I've missed some short-term gains. So if you want those short-term gains, don't ignore this. But if you're going to hold it for a long term, you have to look at the long-term fundamentals there. Okay. And then now I'm gonna go switch to my browser. I'm gonna cover some tools that you guys can use for your fundamental analysis, and it's gonna be a little more practical. Any questions so far? Okay, looks like there are no questions. If you have them, feel free to type them in the comments. All right. I'll cover this a little later. All right. So, okay, this is one of the ways you can value a coin. So look at the market cap. Look at the market cap of the coin. So what I mean by that is, let's say you look at a coin and they say, I'm going to be the next smart contract platform. I'm going to be the next Ethereum. Then you go, okay, if they reach 100% of their potential and replace the current market leader in the smart contract platform, what would the market cap of the project be? And then based on that, you kind of multiply the token price of that project. You multiply the market cap of the project currently by the market cap of the target project of the final okay. Let me give you an example. Let's say okay, Dogecoin is going to be the next Ethereum. All right, how 34? Well, that's a big number. What is that? 34 billion. 34 billion, 547 billion Ethereum. If it's going to be the next Ethereum, if it takes Ethereum's spot, that's going to be, what's that, 545 divided by 34, like 16x. Okay, so you say, okay, it could go 16x from here if it overtakes Ethereum. So let me give you an example, okay? So let me look down here at the bottom 100. Let's say, what is this? It's KuCoin. Yeah, we can do that. Let's say KuCoin. Let's say you think KuCoin is going to overtake Binance. You think Binance is under a lot of scrutiny. You think you like the things KuCoin's doing. Maybe it's going to overtake Binance. So you have like 1 million here. Where is it? KuCoin. Yeah, okay, you have 1.8 billion. 1.8 billion. And Binance is all the way up here at 108 billion, right? 108 divided by 1.8. So it's like a 60x. It could go a 60x from here. So it's a tool that makes it easier. So be careful. You have to do projects that are in the same field. Okay, so you can't compare. I don't know. You can't compare like Pancake Swap with Avalanche, like two different projects. So there's no point comparing those market caps. Okay, so once you identify those two projects, you want to compare market caps. Here, okay, Axie Infinity. You guys, shout out. Gamecoin. What gaming coin should we look at? Axie Infinity. You guys have one? Let me see if the UFO is in here. UFO is in here. Okay, let's say if UFO is going to overtake Axie Infinity. So I'm gonna go here to marketcapoff.com. This is a tool for you to easily do what I did just now manually. Yep, someone said UFO. So I'm gonna go here to UFO. for gaming, I think, with the market cap of Axie Infinity. It says it's a 15x from here. So it kind of gives you a rough estimate. Okay, but this is not the end all be all. It doesn't say this can only go 15x, because this is not a fixed number, right? This market cap of Ethereum right now, tomorrow, if Ethereum's price goes 2x from here, well, this market cap just from the price alone, right? Well, yeah, because of the price, of course, this market cap is going to go 2x, right? So this is not the ceiling, and this is also not like a guarantee that's going to stay this price. If Ethereum goes down 50% from here, well, this is also going to go down by 50%. Okay, so this is just like, if gives you like an kind of an estimate of like the room for growth it has if market conditions stay the same as they are right now. So that's one thing you can look at, the market cap comparison of coins in the same industry. Another thing you can look at is upcoming milestones on the roadmap. But sometimes you don't have time to look. You just want you just want to get into something that has a milestone that's coming soon, or maybe you want to quickly see if a coin you're interested in has any milestones. You can try to look at coinmarketcal.com. This is going to give you some idea. It's not the definitive source because it's not super updated. There's some user submit stuff. Sometimes there's some wrong information in here or outdated information in here, but you can use this to get a sense of the project. So let's say I want to know if maybe maybe Cardano has anything coming up soon. So search for upcoming events for Cardano. Says there's a PAB update coming by the end of November. So that's like a short-term milestone. If this is true, if the milestone is 30th November, this might be a reason for me to go to the charts and look for a short-term entry with a plan to sell by November 30th. Then you got to check the source and see if it's true or not. Then you go check if it's true or not. So you go read here, right? All right, someone asks here, okay, I'm going to put this question here. What if the coin is inflationary? Does that have any impact with the market cap at the end price? Yeah, that'll have an impact with the token price for sure. So like I said, it's not like an accurate tool. It just gives you a rough estimate of how much more room for growth the coin has. So you have to put inflation into consideration as well, but hopefully it's not like super crazy inflation, so that the market cap is still useful, right? If it's like 1% inflation, that's okay. You can still kind of use the same concept. But if it's like 1,000% inflation per day, then maybe you have to reevaluate things a little bit. Okay, another thing you want to look at. You want to look at the code. So the code, you would usually go to the project GitHub and just look for, actually, just let me look for, I don't know. Okay. Ethereum GitHub. Let's say the code. You go to the GitHub and I assume you're not a coder. I'm not a coder. Okay. But you can kind of at least see how active they are. You can see if they have published anything at all. If they haven't, it could just mean that their stuff is private. But if they have public stuff, you can go in there and kind of take a look at the commits, at the number of commits, see how many commits they've done recently. Maybe kind of take a look at the stuff that they've done. Sometimes maybe you can kind of guess what's happening, but not sure. Some kind of unlock. Don't know what's happening here. And you can kind of see also like how messy the changes are. If you're a coder, you can kind of get a sense of like how good their practices are for coding. You can see whether they have documented stuff, right? That they have good practices, like that they're documenting what this code is doing. If there's just a bunch of code, no documentation at all, and this programmer gets in a car accident, some other programmer has to come take over his work, maybe he won't know what's happening here if they don't have good kind of documentation around here. Not always, but this kind of helps. But mainly, I kind of like to look at activity and see how active this project is. Okay, and like I said, sometimes you want to look at the coders, see how experienced they are, right? So I don't know who that is. You can see the coder from that Ethereum project, and you can kind of take a look at what other projects he's worked on, what other depositories he's contributed to, and see his experience that way. You can see, okay, this guy's worked on Nervos. Maybe I'll go now and Google Nervos and say, okay, what's Nervos? What's that? Was it successful? Did people like that? Did people say, was it a scam? So that helps too, just the GitHub, okay? But what if you want to look at something to farm? Or you want to invest in a token from a farm? This site here is also pretty useful, rugdoc.io. So I use this to determine whether or not a farm I'm interested in is, the code is safe or not. Safe as in like how risky is it to be, what's the risk of being rugged, basically. This is more like a farming tool, but you can also kind of use it to, if you want to buy the project token, maybe look at it to see the risk of that project rugging. Doesn't mean you can't invest if it's high risk, but it just means that maybe there's something in the code there that, okay, it's missing a master chef time lock here. So it says they could rug. If they could rug in the code, that's the possibility there. So you always want, as much as possible, for there to be no possibility of them stealing your coins. Okay. Next thing you can look at, these are a lot of fundamentals, right? And as the market develops, situations change, tools get better, people start looking at different things. The fundamentals that you need to look at are going to change 1 year from now, 2 years from now. It's going to change a little bit, but the principles are the same. You want to look at the promises. You will find a proof that they can deliver on those promises. Keep that in mind. If you learn nothing from this stream, keep that in mind. Okay. Another thing you can look at is the TVL. So this is basically how much value the tokens locked in that ecosystem or project is worth in dollar terms. Okay, so if you find a coin, you don't know much about it, but it has 6.25 billion TVL, like as much as Yearn, then you think, okay, maybe this is worth me paying some attention to. Okay, you can also, this is a little bit more advanced, but you can also kind of look at the TVL of the chains maybe, and see how much money has been flowing into that chain, and or how much the value of the coins in that chain has gone up, at least. So let's say I see plus 14% here in Avalanche. Maybe I'll go check out some Avalanche ecosystem coins now, just based on that number there. So this is kind of gives you an idea of what's happened already. Okay, so those are some tools. All right, so now I'm going to give you some examples of how people do fundamental analysis on different things. This is Aave. This is Aave's risk assessment of stable coins and other assets. Okay, so this is how Aave is like borrowing, lending. So for the assets they want to allow to borrow and lend, and they wanted to determine how risky it is, to determine how much interest they want to charge, whatever. So you can come here. I guess you can kind of see the URL here on the screen, I guess. They have an assessment of a whole bunch of coins, okay? So let's look at stable coins. Let's say BUSD. So this is Binance USD. What do they look at? They look at the smart contract. So they analyze the smart contract. It's been verified, but the smart contract has experienced little use. So they're not sure. They're not totally sure. All right. Okay. So you see, this is how Aave analyzes. So now you look at, maybe you don't know how to look at a smart contract, maybe, but you can look at, you see somebody else's analysis. Don't just understand what they say. You see what they're looking at. Now, when you go look at a stable coin, you look at that. You look at the smart contract. Let's say, has this smart contract been audited? Has it been used before? Counterparty risk. So now, because of stable coins, they want to see what it's backed by. So Aave says BUSD is backed by real USD. So it is centralized. By Paxos. It's compliant and has been approved by the New York State Department of Financial Services. So it's been approved, but it's centralized. So if it's centralized, if that one centralized source goes down, then maybe your tokens are worth nothing. So that's why maybe centralized makes them give it a D+ rating. Market risk. So this is like basically how popular it is in the market, what the volatility is. Do a lot of people use it? And it's an A rating here because it's low volatility. It's driven by Binance, so people have a little more confidence in it. So that's how they determine the risk. This is Aave's risk analysis of BUSD. Let's look at something that's not okay. Link. I know there's a lot of Link fans here. Okay, so this is just like smart contract risk. Okay, it's been active since 2017. Length of time that it's been active. It's been adopted in 2017 and has over 6 million transactions. So length of time it's been used. How many transactions have been used using this contract? This is basically like kind of like the in a factory, you see the days since last accident sign, right? So like, if it's been used for 10 years with no hacks, probably a good project. Probably a good security on the smart contract. Counterparty risk, non-custodial, open source, 300,000 holders. So they like that because if one of these holders suddenly dies, loses access to their keys, well, there's 299,999 holders waiting to still pick up the slack. So there's no centralization risk there. So that's good. Market risk. So they're saying, this is their analysis of how popular it is in the market. It's relevant. It's one of the most successful Ethereum projects. It's widely available on exchanges, popular on DeFi platforms. Trading volume is high. Price has a sharp increase. So this is how you can also determine whether your coin has market risk, right? Is it on a lot of exchanges? Like if you buy it right now, how likely is it that it's going to suddenly, you're not going to be able to sell it anymore? No one else wants it from you. The link is on all the exchanges. It's very popular in DeFi. A lot of people trade it. So not that much risk for Link, right? So you can go ahead and take a look at this on your own. I'm not going to go through all these assets, but if you want a very quick overlook at what Aave thinks, and this is updated, they said they updated September 2021, so not too long ago, or it's a little dated, right? Okay, now I'm going to go through some projects that I was successful with. And we're going to go through them together, okay? I'm going to ask you some questions. I want you to tell me whether it's good or bad and why. Okay, obviously these are projects that I liked. So what's good about it? Okay, so here you have, I don't know, can I do this? Screen maybe? No, that disappears. Okay, let me share the window again. So I want to be a little bit interactive. So I'm going to get you guys to look at this. And you tell me. So this was a stream I did back in May 2021. And I said, Solana, the next top 5 altcoin. And Solana is number 5 right now. Right? May 11th. May 11th. It was May 11th, March, April. May like around $40-something, $43. So how did I? Well, I didn't know, but I thought it was very, very likely. How did I know? Why did I think that it was going to be a top 5 altcoin? So you can go look at this stream here if you want to watch my analysis and kind of get an idea of how I work when I do fundamental analysis. You don't have to do it the exact same way, but these are things that I looked at. Okay, so this here, what is this? Promise or proof? They said it's scalable, it's low cost. This is the Solana blockchain, right? It's scalable, it's low cost, it's composable. Stuff can work with each other. Is that promise or proof? You tell me, guys. Tell me in the comments. Is this a promise of what they're going to achieve, or is it proof that they can do it? Wait for some answers. Anybody? Is there a link to the video? I'll post a link in the comments on our Discord. There's a discussion thread for each stream, all right? So I'll post the link in the discussion thread there to this Solana stream, okay? So yeah, it's someone says we have promise, proof, it's scalable, promise, proof, promise. So it's promise, okay? At that point, it certainly was a promise because it wasn't used that much. At this point, it's also still a promise, okay? Because you haven't reached like peak capacity. It's not like it hasn't reached like Ethereum levels. We don't know exactly how scalable it is. So they're promising that it's going to be scalable to a very, 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 very high level. Okay, low cost. It's low cost right now. We're not sure if they're going to be able to continue to keep it low cost in the future if it reaches Ethereum's levels. And composable. They say it's composable, it's single state. Yeah, the way it works is probably composable, but you don't know if it reaches Ethereum levels. Is it still going to maintain its composability? Is it going to crash? Not sure yet. So these are their promises. This is their website, right? So these are all their promises right here. Okay. Right here. So I got here on the presentation. This is, so again, you guys tell me now. After this comment in the YouTube, I'm going to type a comment. So after that comment, promise or proof, what you see on the screen right now. So what is this? This is a comment from another project, somebody who was working on Zoints, and they're explaining why they decided to build on Solana. And the reasoning they gave was it's got speed, it's already scaled, and will increase without having a shard. It's extremely cheap at 0.001 per entry. So I have an answer here. It's proof. Anybody else? It's proof. Yep, answer's coming. It's proof. That's right. This is proof. Why? This is somebody. This is someone who is not from the project. Somebody else. They use the project. They decided to use the project. At least they've been using it. They've been building it, and they experienced it. And they're telling you, yeah, okay, what the team has been saying is true in my experience. So that's good. The more of these you can find, and I found this just by going through their Discord, just searching. So I searched for stuff like TPS, scaling, speed, all the keywords that are important to that project. I search for that. So if you're looking at a privacy project, then you go to the project and search for privacy in their Telegram and their Discord. Right? So here I search for scaling, sharding, TPS, that kind of thing. Okay. Where am I? Oh, wrong screen. Okay, here. Let me see if I can find. Okay, here's another example of proof. Okay, I'm just going to turn out this is proof. So this is Orca. This is an app, the dApp that's on Solana right now. They're explaining why they decided to build on Solana. The more of this you can find, so because I saw all this stuff, this made me very confident that the stuff that they're claiming, even if I'm not technical, all these other people who are building dApps who are technical looked at Solana's claims and decided that, yeah, I trust them. I believe them. I'm going to build my dApp on their blockchain. So that gives me some credibility. Okay. Someone says here, you need to verify these guys first. That is true. That is true. That's why I don't want if it's just one guy, probably not going to give it too much credence to that claim. This was a lot of projects, a bunch of projects. Okay, and I didn't see any of them complain about Solana. Civic launched on Solana as well. This was a potential problem that I saw with Solana. Okay, here it says that Solana has developer incentives. They're going to spend. So again, guys, is this promise or proof? All right, Solana posted that we have up to $1 million in prizes and seed funding, incentives for developers to come and develop on Solana. Is that promise or proof? So I have here proof. Anybody think it's promise? This is proof, right? They have the ability, either their money or some investors' money, they can spend $1 million, throw it at people to get them to come and develop on their platform. First of all, that shows that they have money and they're willing to spend it on what I think is the right people, right? So this is proof, right? They're willing to spend it on programmers, and the developers are the ones who are going to make their blockchain good. So they're not spending it hiring Kanye to hype their project, right? They're spending it on what's actually going to create value in their ecosystem. So this is proof, and it's good proof. Okay, if you find a project, they spend a ton of money hiring some celebrity who knows nothing about blockchain, knows nothing about crypto, just to say something good, and then they don't spend. That's not bad, but if that's all they do is market, and maybe that's a scam, maybe, or maybe they just really they want to market. They really want to make their hype up their project short term, and they're going to dump on you in the near future. So be careful if they don't spend money in the right places. Right, you can take a look here. I go through some technical stuff. So you really, if you have time, go through the white paper, read everything, see what they do. Okay, and the first time you read a white paper, you look at all the technical stuff. You're not going to maybe understand everything, but you're going to start understanding what these guys are promising at least. The next white paper you read, you'll know if the next project is making the same promise as the last guy, or are they making a different promise. Okay, if everybody's making, if 10 different projects, you read 10 white papers, they all make the same kind of promises, you'll be like, oh, been there, done that, boring. This doesn't excite me. It's probably not going to excite other experienced investors as well. They've seen the same thing before. And the more you read the white papers, the more you look at projects, the more experienced you're going to be. You're going to be able to determine very quickly how interesting this project is going to be for other people. Okay, so now I want to change. That's the code from that stream. Here. Okay. So this is proof. I looked at the team, right? So how did I know that? Why was I so confident? Why was I so confident in Solana? This guy worked at Qualcomm. Anatoly, founder of Solana, worked at Qualcomm. So he was a developer of a lot of like network technology. He worked with really high level network stuff. So I thought, okay, yeah, this guy has an understanding of technology. He's worked with teams before. He's got some Qualcomm team people with him, and these guys are not fresh high school, college graduates. I think they have the expertise, the ability there to reach their goals. And then one thing I want to show you, if I can find it in the stream here, is, okay, so here, this is an article. I found this article. And this was about refinance, and they had some kind of trouble with Alameda, but that's not the point. Reef was saying here that when Alameda approached them, Alameda wanted to make up to $18 million investment in refinance. Okay, Alameda said they want to invest up to $18 million in refinance so that Reef can explore the integration of radium and serum on Solana. So listen, Alameda, which is FTX, basically, those guys, said, we're going to give you up to $80 million if you come take a look at Solana and radium and serum. If somebody is willing to spend tens of millions of dollars to get other people to come and build on your platform, well, that's yeah, you've got some solid backing right there, right? So this made me super confident that Solana had this made me very confident that Solana had a lot of room to grow. So you see people splashing money around like that. They've got some strong backing there. They're spending it on the right things. Well, that should give you confidence. Okay. So now, okay, so it's not all roses. There are some bad things too, some risks. So if you entered Solana right now, what are some risks? Okay, so there was Moore's law earlier. So what this was that basically like Solana is kind of depends on relies on the hardware scaling. They're going to make the best use of all the parts of the hardware as much of the hardware as possible. And they're going to bank that as the demand for more power increases, the hardware is also going to get better. The hardware is also going to get better. And then because the hardware is going to get better, their hardware-based scaling approach is going to keep working indefinitely. So this is already kind of a little bit not true already. Moore's law, it's not really doubling at a quick rate anymore. But it's still hardware is still improving, and we could always get another breakthrough that we haven't seen before yet in computing, like those M1 chips from Apple are pretty nice, by the way. Side note, those MacBooks are pretty cool. So Moore's law there. Okay, a factor. But am I worried about the hardware not scaling if these guys are willing to spend $80 million? If Alameda is willing to spend $80 million on the network, okay. If they're willing to spend tens of millions of dollars on it, maybe I don't need to worry so much. Maybe they're not worried about the scaling, so I shouldn't be worried about the scaling, right? So I'm just kind of following the money there. So there's another problem here. Solana had a crash recently, and they were able to come back after like a day or two. But it shows again that their promise of being able to scale, still a promise. And this is actually proof that they haven't fulfilled their promise quite yet. Okay, so they have some proof, some dApps are building on there, kind of working, but if it was really working 100%, they wouldn't have crashed. They fixed that. They said they fixed that. So we'll see. Okay, so this is kind of something maybe you want to consider when you decide whether or not to go all in or not. So at that point in time, Solana wasn't a top 5 coin. So how did I decide that it's going to be a top 5 coin? Well, I looked at I think it's going to be like a layer, like a smart contract layer, right? Will it overtake Ethereum? It's centralized. There are people who don't like that. Ethereum has a really strong foothold. Binance Coin, it's not an exchange coin. It's not really the same thing. So I figured, okay, it should probably be an Ethereum spot, but I didn't think it was going to be as overtake it right away. I mean, I think it has the potential. It's going to be pretty tough because Ethereum's been number 2 for a long time. So I thought, okay, top 10 for sure, and very likely top 5. At that point, I was like, okay, I was looking at Polkadot, Avalanche, those kind of things. These guys were all like top 20. And I thought, okay, it can at least get top 10. And because of the tens of millions of dollars being thrown at it, that other ecosystems, Avalanche doesn't have people investing $60 million into projects to come build on Avalanche, I don't think. Because they're investing more, then there's going to be more money coming on here. Okay, so it's someone's requesting to look at a white paper. I can I'll have to do that in the future show because it's been an hour long now, an hour 15 minutes now. We can look at some white paper stuff, but really, it's a lot of text, it's a lot of reading. You'll just have to read it, and from the white paper, you extract the promises and maybe the proof, right? If they have like code in there that kind of demonstrates how their idea might work, algorithms, mathematical proofs, then that's kind of proof in the white paper there. But usually the white paper is kind of maybe more promise. They're describing their idea, their concept. I could take a look at that in a future stream. So that was Solana. Here's another project that I looked at more recently. I posted this in the Discord before they launched. So this is an NFT. This is an NFT. So this was the shadowy super coders NFT. I posted on this in the Discord like a week ago, 11 days ago. They launched like about 11 days ago. So this is an NFT. They minted for 2.5 Solana each. Okay, got some. I got some, more than one. And so 2.5 Solana each. Okay, guess the price right now, guys. Right now it's selling at 26. Let me see. Maybe refresh. Maybe it's changed. 25. The floor price is 25. So right now you can sell the NFT that I minted for 2.5 Solana. After 11 days, I can sell for 10x the price. I got a bunch of these. Why did I get a bunch of these? So it's a mixture of fundamentals and pumpamentals. Okay, pumpamentals. It was NFTs. NFTs. People can sometimes get irrationally crazy about NFTs. So a little bit of that. Okay, shadowy super coder DAO. What this is this is an RPC node project. They run a service that provides RPC nodes. RPC nodes are how dApps communicate with the blockchain. And if you want to ensure that yours works, maybe you want to get some really good hardware to make sure your dApp can connect to the blockchain. So they provide this service, right? People that launch like NFTs, blockchain projects, right? So they're like a hardware service group. They already have clients. They have like Star Atlas is their client. A whole long list of clients. So that's proof right there that they have customers. And they were working on RPC nodes for Solana. And as you all know, I like Solana. I think it has a lot of potential. Maybe I think it could take the number 3 spot. Why not? Yeah. So if I think it has that much room to grow, more dApps have to come to Solana. More dApps come to Solana, they need infrastructure, right? So they want to make sure it runs smoothly. They're going to go to hire, rent out some, pay for some RPC servers. So I thought, okay, these guys are the RPC servers. They said their NFTs are going to be giving out some tokens that are going to be related to their RPC node project. More or less just based on that information, okay? On Solana, NFTs, it's an RPC node project, so hardware that's critical for Solana projects. They're going to have tokens. Based on that, I decided, yeah, I'm going to mint a bunch of these. I think it has potential. That's how I got my 10x in 10 days, 11 days. And also, I think they're going to be doing some revenue sharing and that kind of stuff. So this is kind of like a high now. If you're just looking at this, 50 SOL. If you're just looking at this, you could still get in, but it's kind of a bunch of money now. So it depends on how much this is worth to you. You know, if you have like a $1 billion portfolio, 25 SOL is nothing to you, you still get in. I think it's going to grow. But if 25 SOL is your whole portfolio, I wouldn't get in anymore. Because you're gonna have to wait a while for this. So fundamentals analysis, you also get an idea of how long it's gonna take for you to make your money back. So if you think it's gonna take, these guys are gonna take a while, maybe December, probably to launch. End of November, December maybe, to get fully launched. So I think for this to reach full potential, maybe it's gonna take a couple of months. So I didn't enter with 100% of my portfolio, not even 50%, not even 30%, right? But I did buy a bunch. Yeah. So that's how I use it for an NFT, right? So not just for tokens, you can use it for NFTs too. An example of Pumpamentals. Pumpamentals right now basically is just DeFi. And I'm sorry, not DeFi right now, is a metaverse and play to earn. Okay, so I talked about a bunch of let me show you a bunch of IDOs that I'm going to get into. And part of the reason I'm going to get into them, first of all, because they're on they're on Solana. I love Solana. Here, Genopets. Okay, Genopets. I'm going to get into this, and part of it is because of Pumpamentals. I don't think this is going to reach critical mass very soon. Everyone's going to play this game, but because it's play to earn, it's got NFTs, and it's got a twist. It's actually move to earn. You actually you can exercise or walk or something to level up, to help generate resources to level up your Genopets, your monsters. I thought, okay, yeah, this has the right hype NFT, play to earn, on Solana. Yep, it's got the right keywords there. I'm going to invest in it, right? And sometimes just because if you have to make a very, really quick snap decision, if you just saw this, you have 2 minutes to decide whether or not to go in the IDO, and you're not risking too much. Well, at least check if it has the right Pumpamentals before you jump in. So yeah, I'm going to try to get into that IDO as well. All right, okay, we only went an hour and 20 minutes. So I'm going to be stopping the stream right here. If you want to discuss this stream, there is a discussions channel just for each stream on the Birb Nest Discord. So go ahead and check that out. Nest Club members, you can talk to me in the fundamental analysis channel. And if you're just a Congress member, just getting here for free, you can just take a look at the history of the stuff that I posted in the past in the fundamental analysis channel. Take a look at some of my past live streams. I look at a bunch of projects in the past in the Nest Club webinars channel. Just search for my name inside that channel. And that's it for the stream. All right. So I'll be seeing you guys in a future stream, not too long from now. So stay tuned, guys. And make sure you download the Carney app, turn on notifications, and stay tuned for tomorrow's streams. All right. Bye, guys.